Marna here. It is Thursday morning and I am getting ready to head upstairs. I gotta go take the dog out, but I thought before I go up, while I am free of any rolls of yarn on these blankets, I would go ahead and show them before I attach new rolls. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you two blankets that I'm working on, and I've shown them before several times, but so the first one is the granny square blanket, the one that's all the squares are named after different trees. I got that from Rachel Carmona. It's a vibrant vintage crochet along 2018, and it's the squares that I've got in the green and the gray and the beige. So I like the pattern. I really do. I really like the pattern, but it kind of sets my OCD going because even though the squares all came out with the same amount of stitches, they were all different sizes, and even just stretching them to make them fit into, when I worked them together, they still looked, you could tell how much bigger, like the regular granny square, so much bigger than all the other squares, even though it had the same amount of stitches, still looked way bigger, and I really had to stretch and hop stitches to make it fit, and it's actually kind of driving me crazy, this whole blanket. I can't wait to be done with it. So I'm going to do 2 rounds. I'm going to try and fit 2 rounds if I have enough of the yarn of the variegated. That's what I've got left of that. And then 3 rounds of, hopefully if 3 rounds will go on this. So 5 more rounds and I'll be done with this blanket. So it's kind of wonky because of all the different sizings, square sizes. So it is definitely wonky, but I'm going to show it anyway. And the other one I'm going to show is the one that I was doing for my niece. It was meant to be for Christmas last year, but I didn't even get a quarter of it done, so she wanted something else anyway, so I ended up making her a bag for Christmas. Very nice bag, if I do say so myself. But I worked on it last night until I finished out the roll that I was on, and I was on the 4th roll. I'm using Lion Brand Pound of Love, the antique white, and to be honest, I hate that yarn. I will not buy any more of it. I have only been able to use 1 hook on this particular blanket, and not my clover hooks and not my tulip hook. Well, I only have, yeah, I do have a 1 tulip hook that would go with, that I could use on it, but I can't use any other hook on this blanket except for my Susan Bates hook. I don't know why. I have tried. I had a stack of hooks and I do this all the time. I'll take out a whole bunch of hooks and try to use different ones, especially my favorite ones, the clover and the tulips, and nothing. I cannot use any other hook except the Bates hook. It's a yarn eater, very much so, because each one of the big stitches is 3 triple crochets, so it eats a lot of yarn, and that's why I'm going through so much of it. I bought 10 yarns, 10 rolls of this yarn just for this blanket. I kind of hope I really don't have to go 10 rolls. And I'm not going to buy any more. And I've got 2 rolls of a mint colored Pound of Love and a peachy color for another blanket. And if I don't need to use all of the rolls of the antique white for this one, then I'm going to add the antique white to the peach and the green for another blanket. That's later on in the future. But I will not be buying any more of this yarn. I don't like it at all. Had I used a different yarn, I probably wouldn't have such a problem with this blanket. But it does take a long time because the stitches take a long time to do, and it's a 4-row repeat. But anyway, I'm going to flip it around and show you what I've got. Alright, so here is the Granny Square blanket by Rachel Carmona. Vibrant Vintage Crochet Along 2018. Now I'm not doing the border that she did. I'm just doing a simple double crochet border. And honestly, I'm not liking that either. I love the squares. I really, really do. I just wish they were all the same size. So that's the classic Granny Square. And you can see how much bigger it is than some of these other squares. Same amount of stitches. I counted them all to make sure they all had the same amount of stitches. So I'm to finish it off, I'm going to be adding 2 more rows, if I can get 2 rows out of it, and it's kind of dusty. 2 rows of this. I did 2 rows right here, and I got this 1 roll left, so I'm going to use that. And then sorry, I just lost my yarn. I just threw it somewhere and I lost it. Just a second. All right. Okay, and then I'm going to be using that down there, the dark one, the dark green. And that's another blanket that I'm working on. Alright, so that's it for this one. I'm going to get the other blanket out and spread it out since I don't have it attached to a roll of yarn right now. Okay, so the other day when I had it spread out, on the table and you couldn't actually see how wide it is. And it's pretty wide. And you couldn't see how long it was either. So I'm getting ready to start on the 4th roll. So I may not need to use all 10 rolls. I may need to just use maybe 6 or 7 rolls, because I do want it to be able to drape off the end and go all the way to the head of the bed. The reason why I made it so big is I really don't know what size bed my niece has, but this was supposed to be for a Christmas gift or a wedding gift. Well, she hasn't gotten married yet, but soon. It will happen soon. So I'm not sure why this curls the way it does, like up there. I'm not sure why it does that. But this is the raised shell stitch. And I got the pattern from Creative Grandma. And I love the stitch pattern. I think it's gorgeous. I just don't like it with this yarn. And this is the Lion Brand Pound of Love. And I'm not really impressed with this yarn. I love the way it feels. It's real squishy and soft. I just don't like working with it. But I love the way it feels. It's so soft. So anyway, I'm further along than I thought it was. I didn't really know how far along I was on this because I couldn't spread it out completely without mangling my yarn. So, alright, that is this whip. And then I will go upstairs and I'm going to show you these shawls that I'm working on. So, alright, I'll check back in. Okay, so I just finished up the roll of yarn that I was using on this shawl just so that I could move it around without it being attached to a skein. So it was the 3rd skein that I used. I've got 2 more skeins to go. But this is the one that I'm working on upstairs. My dress form is downstairs and it's kind of hard to move around because it's broke. And my dad had to fix it, but I can't move it without it actually falling apart. So I'm just showing it up here because this is where I'm working on it. So it's just a rectangular shawl. And I'm trying to get a full shot of it. I don't really have anywhere to hang it. So I got it draped over a living room chair. These are all shawls that I made for my mom. They have been in this spot for about 3 or 4 years now. And She passed away December 21st of 2019, and these shawls aren't going anywhere. They are staying put. My dad will not move them from this spot. Anyway, so this is the one I'm working on up here. I haven't decided. I mean, it's probably going to go to a family member, and it is a pretty thin yarn. In fact, I'm going to show you the comparison here in a few minutes. And this is the Old Country Bridges by Jayda InStitches. Well, that's where I got the pattern from. Okay, so I thought I would show you the comparison of these two yarns that I'm using for these two shawls. So on the Old Country Bridges shawl, I am using this, it's Himalaya Everyday Viking. I got it as a gift from Pam at Pamela's Creations. I don't know what yarn company it comes from, but it's made in Turkey. And the weight on it, weird, the weight, is, let's see. I saw it once before. It's very, very small to see. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it's very, very small. It says 4. And you can't see it. It's not focusing. But it says 4. And this is it right here. Okay. That does not look like a 4 to me at all. In fact, it doesn't even look like a 3 weight. It looks more like a 2 weight to me. Okay. So this is, and this calls for, let's see, it didn't call for a hook size, but I am using a D 3.25 hook for this yarn. Okay. And now for this shawl here, this one that I'm working on downstairs, it's a lacy shawl. I don't remember exactly what it's called. This one, gotten quite a bit done on it so far. I'm using the Lion Brand Kobu, and it is a 3 weight yarn. And seems to be about the same, if not a little bit thicker than this Himalaya yarn. Let's see if I can grab a loose string. I don't want to, gosh darn it. Sorry. Alright, so there you go. There's the comparison. They're probably about the same, I guess. This is the Kobu right here, and this is the Himalaya. So I'm going to say that the Himalaya is more like a 3 weight. Definitely not a 4 weight. I mean, I like it. It's very pretty. I love it. And on the this shawl right here, I am using a 4mm. I'm pretty sure it's blind. Yeah, it's a 4mm. So this hook right here. So I'm actually using a larger hook on this thinner weight yarn. So anyway, that is the comparison. I just think it's kind of weird. But I've got, sorry, I'm like getting my arms in the way here. So I've still got that much to go on this shawl right here, and 2 rolls left that I'm going to do on the other shawl that I've got draped across the chair in the living room. So yeah, the one in there in the living room is my kitchen project. It's just what I work on while I'm sitting here at the kitchen table. And so that's it for my comparison and my whips for today. Now, on to food. I basically unintentionally, intentionally did some intermittent fasting. So we eat dinner early. I know other people know that because I've said it before. After my mom had her stroke, I moved back in here. She had her stroke January of 2017. I moved back in here February 2017. And I was used to my own way of doing things, just eating whenever I felt like eating. But then when I moved in here, things changed. I moved back in to help my dad take care of my mom. And she would eat dinner early, so I just ate when she ate. So we eat very early around here. And it didn't change after my mom passed. So I eat dinner at 3 o'clock. And I'm usually done with dinner by 3:15, between 3:15 and 3:20. So that's why dinner is so early, and that's just the way it is. So anyway, I got done eating about 20 after 3 last night, so that was when I had my last meal, and it is now 10 after 9, so I'm going to just wait until 9:30 so that I can say I did 19 hours. And I'm going to probably have some eggs, and I'm going to have some Brussels sprouts and avocado. The Brussels sprouts I just got out of the oven, and they're crispy, crunchy, just the way I like them. And I have a hard time with Brussels sprouts because I have a hard time staying out of them. And they are carby, but they're low in calories. So there's that. And my problem is I take in way too many calories because of all the pork rinds, and having this and just throwing some butter on it will help me as far as wanting to snack. Maybe I won't be so inclined to snack on a whole bag of pork rinds. So I'm going to have my Brussels sprouts, and I usually would put them in the air fryer, but we're having a problem with the sink draining, so I didn't want to have to wash it. My dad doesn't want anything but clear liquids going into the drain right now. So I just put, basically did a sheet pan with foil and put my Brussels sprouts in the oven that way. So that's what's going on right now. I'm going to break my fast at 9:30 with eggs, Brussels sprouts, and avocado. And dinner will be the same as usual. My Portofino yellowfin tuna, probably with avocado. And that's it for now. I will check back in a little bit. Have a great day. Okay, so here's my breakfast. It is 10 a.m. So I ended up going about half an hour past the time that I was going to break my fast. And I decided to skip the avocado since I'm going to have some for dinner anyway. So I've just got scrambled eggs, and I know that these look burnt, but they are not. I mean, they are, but they are perfect. This is exactly the way I like them. I love it when they are like this. I can't keep my hands out of them when they're like this. So this is the Brussels sprouts. I don't have any cheese on my scrambled eggs because yuck, I do not like cheese on my scrambled eggs. So anyway, got coffee there and my bubbly bounce. So that is my breakfast. Here is my lunch. It's just 2 burger patties. They're just Equate brand. Ordinarily I like to do grass-fed, but this is what I have. So just mustard and some of my homemade ketchup. And then another one of the bubbly bounce. Still working on coffee. Okay, so I changed my mind for dinner. I'm just going to have 2 more of these burger patties. I cooked a total of 8 burger patties. The other 4 are in here. I just put them in the oven, and the rest of them are just going to be for the weekend. That way I don't have to cook a whole lot for the weekend. But for tonight, these 2, I took 1 slice of Swiss cheese and just tore it in half, put, you know, half a slice on each burger. And then this half of an avocado that I got in here. So that's going to be my dinner. Somebody thinks I got out the food for her. Nope, it's not dinner time yet. You got a ways to go. Alright, anyway, that's dinner. Now I'm getting ready to go outside and do some crocheting. Hey there, so that is going to do it for today. I am just having some coffee. I've got Cameron's chocolate caramel mocha, and I've just got some Organic Valley heavy cream in there. I'm going to do a little bit of crocheting, probably take a cat nap, and I guess that's it. So if you could give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, I would really, really appreciate it. And I hope everyone had a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.